It's the 6th of July, Rabbi Levitt, Ezra.
Sefer Ezra. Okay.
I'm going to have to excuse myself in a few minutes to pay the housekeeper.
Hey. Oh, let's see where we up to over here. Like we're up to. Oh, it says we're up to verse 16. And yeah, and all these notes about the Levim. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, we did a little bit about that on on Yom Hamishi. As Ezra says he looked around and he didn't find any Levim. He found Kohanim, he didn't find Levim. Very strange. Okay. So, okay. All right. So we're up to verse 16, otherwise known as Pasuk Tes Zion. And it's on the very top of our page 76 in Sefer Ezra. So, Lou, would you like to start the reading?
Ve'esh lecha Ezer la'ariel lishmaya ule el nasan ule yariv ule el nasan ve'liz charya ve'lim shulam rashim ule yoarim ule yoariv ule el nasan meviim. Okay, so I dispatched the elders, the leader, Eliezer, the leaders, Eliezer, Ariel, Shemaiah, El Nathan, Jarib, El Nathan, Nasan, Zechariah, and Meshulam, and the sages of Joyrib and Elnathan. Let's see, commentary is, so I dispatched Eliezer, literally to Eliezer. The translation follows Ibn Ezra, Mitsudos, and Malbim, who explain that Ezra dispatched Eliezer, Ariel, and the others to talk with Iddo. Thus, Eliezer, Ariel, Shemaiah, and the others were the bearers rather than the recipients of the message. Rabbi Shaya Mitrani, however, translates, I dispatched a message to Eliezer, to Ariel, etc. He explains that Eliezer, Ariel, and the others had remained in Babylonia. Ezra dispatched a message to them asking them to approach Iddo with the request for Levites, the leaders, i.e., the heads. Rashi's rendition is the great or the eminent. Malbim, however, translates the leaders of the people. Ezra felt that eminent men in positions of leadership would be most likely to succeed in exerting the influence necessary to gain Levite support, according to Ralbag.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good. Pasik Yud Zion. Mayor, please. Welcome.
Okay, thank you. Shuato.
Shvua Tov.
Okay, Yud Zion. Oh, okay. Va'atzaveh otam al ido harosh b'kasifya hamakom va'asima b'fihem devarim l'daber el ido achiv chanitinin b'kasifya hamakom lahavi lanu mishartim levet Elokeinu. Okay, so let's see, 17. I directed them to the leader Edo in the place Kasifia, and I gave them a message to convey to Edo and his brother, who were settled in the place of Kasifia, to bring us ministers for the temple of our God. Okay, so let's see. Tam alido. I directed, literally commanded them to the leader, Edo. I sent them with orders to speak to Edo. That's Rashi. Let's see. The Kasavaya Hamakom, in the place of Kasafia. The place is mentioned to differentiate it from an entire territory that was also called Kasafia. That's Mabim.
Hmm.
So I guess it's just a city or something, as opposed to this territory. Okay. V'asima b'fihem devarim ledaber, and I gave them a message to convey. Literally, I placed words in their mouths to speak. The translation follows Mitsudot. Okay. El Ido Achiv, to Edo and his brother. Let's see. According to Rashi, Achiv is a name. Wow. Not a common noun meaning his brother. Ibn Ezra, however, translates to Edo and his brother. Wow, okay. Hanitinin b'Kaspia, who were settled in Kasifia. Rashi notes that although the word is pronounced Nitinin, the spelling in the text is Nitunim, placed. Therefore, Rashi translates who were placed or settled in Kasafia. Ibn Ezra Mitsudot, however, render Hanitinim the Nitinim. Edo and Achiv were Nitinim, from whom Ezra's emissaries requested help in the search for Levites. Ralbag offers a third translation, Edo, Achiv, and the Nitinim. In his opinion, Edo and Achiv were not themselves Nitinim, but others in Kasafia were. In addition to Edo and Achiv, Ezra's representatives approached the Nitinim, who had traditionally served at the temple, and requested them to send some of their members to serve in the temple. Indeed, this request bore fruit, and some 200 Nitinim joined Ezra's party. Malbim's translation is, who were appointed by the king to Kasafia. Wow.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, I thought that they were originally in search for Levim, but oh, you mean they did get? Maybe they did get Levim, but they also got the Nesinim. They got some Nesinim as well.
I guess so.
Okay, okay. So now we're up to Yud Ches.
Yep.
Yud Ches.
Liaviu lanu kiyad elo kenu hatova alenu ish sechel mibnei machli ben Levi ben Yisrael v'sherevya uvanav ve'echav shimona asar. Okay, so let's see. The English is by the benevolence of the hand of our God to us. They brought to us a wise man of the descendants of Mahli, son of Levi, son of Israel, and Sherebiah, and 18 of his sons and kinsmen. Okay, the commentary, there is no commentary on 19.
No, we're on 18, Lou.
Oh, I'm on 18. I'm sorry. By the benevolence of the hand of our God to us. The translation is Rashi's. A wise man. This is Rashi's translation. Rabbi Shai Mitrani explains that the travelers were unsure of their way and fearful for their safety. The wise man's counsel was needed to determine the proper route and to defend the travelers against marauders. Mitsudos, however, interprets Ish Sechel, a skilled man. He was skilled in the choral recitations of the Levites. Mitsudos remarks that the identity of the wise man is unknown. Sorry, I lost my place. The identity of the wise man is unknown. What does it say that? Oh, here it is. Ibn Ezra, however, identifies him as Sherebiah, mentioned later in the verse. The word Sherebiah is understood as referring to both the phrase preceding it and the phrase following it. A wise man of the descendants of Mali, son of Levi, the son of Israel, and Sherebiah and 18 of his sons and kinsmen. Of the descendants of Mali, all those named in this verse are the next verse were Levites, according to Rashi.
Okay. So good. Yud Tes, Mayor.
Okay. You
We're on the
test.
lookout for Roy.
Uh-huh.
Don't see him yet. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Good test.
Yutet. It says, Viet Chashavia V'ito Yishaya Mibnei Merari Echav Uvenei Esrim. Okay. And Chashva, it's easier to look at the Hebrew. One second. And Chashavia, okay. And with him, Isaiah, and the sons of Merari, and 20 of his kinsmen and their sons. Okay, so we'll go to 20 since 19 has no comments. Umin hanetinim shenatan David v'hasarim la'avodat halavim netinin matayim ve'esrim kulam nigvu b'shemot. And the netinim, whom David and his officers had designated for the service of the Levites, 220 netinim, all of them designated by name. Okay, comment. Avodat HaLevim, for the service of the Levites. The netinim were to aid the Levites in their tasks at the temple. That's Mitsudo. The Netinim had already gone up to Eretz Yisrael during the first ascent from Babylonia, which took place a number of years before Ezra's journey. Rashi there identifies them as woodcutters and water carriers who earned their livelihood by working for the people. The Netinim mentioned here, however, were servants of the Levites. Although Ezra instructed all of those disqualified from intermarrying with other Jews to immigrate to the Holy Land, yet evidently allowed these Netinim to remain in Babylonia with their Levite masters. Perhaps he did so because their status as servants allowed them to be readily identified as disqualified for marriage, whereas the other disqualified Jews were not easily identified and were thus prone to improper marriages. Okay, Nikavu, the Shemot, designated by name. The Netinim, who now ascended to Israel, were those whose names were known, the prominent, well-known Netinim. That's Mitsudo.
Interesting. Okay. Good. So we're up to Aleph 21. Blue.
Let's see, that's the next page.
Next page.
Let's see. Let's see. So the beginning of the line. Let's see. Chaf Aleph. Yes, beginning of the line.
Yeah.
The Va'ekra Sham Tzom Al Ha Nahar Ahava Lehis Anos Livnei Elokeinu Levakesh Mimenu Derech Yeshara Lanu Ule Tapenu Ulechol Rechu Shenu. Okay, so let's see, 21. I proclaimed a fast there on the river Ahava to affect ourselves before our God and beseech him for favorable passage for us. Your young children, for all our possessions. Okay, 21. I proclaimed a fast. Rambam states the rabbis instructed that a fast day be proclaimed wherever the community is beset by peril. Until heavenly mercy is obtained. Ralbag explains why fasting is appropriate in times of peril. The fast is an effective aid to the prayers of both the wicked and the saintly. The denial of the fast of the flesh exalts the wicked, impelling them towards penitence and God's holiness. Thus, increases in the effectiveness of their prayers. The fast also aids the prayers of the righteous who suffer the privations of fasting over the people's sins while praying for forgiveness of those sins. Since Hashem gives special consideration to the righteous in order to their prayer, to relieve their suffering, he grants their prayers and the people's sins are forgiven. Taz, in Orach Chaim, based on brachos, asserts that the person fasting is credited with having offered himself as a sacrifice, since his own blood and fat are reduced from lack of food, just as the blood and fat of the sacrificial animal are consumed on the altar. Favorable passage, i.e., straight road.
Okay. Derek Ishara.
Oh, wait a second. What did I do? I lost my place. Favorable passage. We beseech God to lead us on a peaceful journey, Rashi, and to guide us on a route out of the reach of our enemies, Matsudos. Ralbag conjectures that when Ezra and his party reached the river, they learned of the deadly designs of the Samaritan enemies. The fast was then proclaimed to pray for protection during the perils of the remaining journey.
Wow.
For us, for our young children, and for all our possessions. Malbim observes that their prayer reflected the proper sense of priorities. It opened with a prayer for their most essential need, safe passage for themselves and their infants, and only then did it follow with a request for the safety of their valuables. That's the end.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so they're right now on the doorstep of entering into Eretz Yisrael. When they reach the river, I guess they're talking about the they call it Nahar Ahava. I thought they would be approaching the Jordan River. Not sure what's this river here. Nobody interesting. No, oh, they're actually no looking for a commentator that identifies this river.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay, nothing to see over here.
River.
So we'll be in suspense. The river, Ahava. But it sounds like they're that river is going to lead them into Eretz Israel.
Well, actually, according to Google, this River Ahava was a location in Babylonia where Ezra gathered Jewish exiles before their journey to Jerusalem.
Oh,
It was a river or canal and nearby place where a fast was proclaimed, which I think we read about, to seek God's
okay,
guidance and for a journey. Well, these
okay. Oh, so
doesn't
they're just starting on their journey from.
from
Oh,
Babylon. Yeah,
mhm,
Babylonia.
mhm.
Hmm. Okay. Oh, Roy's
Good
here.
morning, Rabbi Levitt.
Good
Morning,
Good
morning.
morning,
Leah.
Roy.
Morning, Lou.
Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov to you and to your family and families.
Thank
Oh,
you.
man.
Same to you, Roy.
Uh,
Okay, yes, same to you, Roy. All the best.
but I'm sorry I'm late. I just couldn't come any earlier. It was touch and go.
Ah,
Okay, well, we appreciate your making the effort.
Mm.
Okay, so would you like to do the next pasuk, Chaf base? We're in
Um,
Perek Ches.
Off base, Perik Tes.
Ches.
Yes.
8, chapter 8.
Chapter 8. Oh, uh, uh, what you, sorry, and Posik what?
Chaf base.
Off, off base. Off base, Kof Gimel. Where's Kof? Oh, correct. Ki, uh, Boshti, Lisha'al, Min, Amelech, uh, Chayil, Uforoshom. Is that right?
Yeah, yes.
The Azrainu, Mayoyev, Baderech, Ki Amarnu, Melech, Lamod, Yad, Eloheinu, Al Kol, Bakashov, Lataravo, V'uzo, V'apo, Al Kol, um, uh, uh, as as far. Um, of base. For I was ashamed to request of the king an army and horsemen to aid us from enemies on the way, for we had said to the king, the hand of our God is upon all who seek him for good, and his power and his wrath are upon all who forsake him. Mm.
Very interesting. Okay. Oh, we have a long note here from the Malbim. We have anything in the commentators that we have on the page? Yeah, we have a lot from Rashi. You have something, Roy?
Cough base. Yes, 22. For I was ashamed of the king, and I did not wish to request of him chariots and horsemen in order to guide us. Rashi. And then for we had already said to King Darius that the Holy One, blessed be he, benefits those who seek him and pours out his wrath and his anger upon those who forsake him. Also from Rashi. That's all I have.
Daryovish HaMelech, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Meitiv L'Mavakshav, Shofech Apo V'Chamasoi Al Ozvav. Uh-huh. So it sounds like he was afraid that Daryovish would say to him, what you told me all about how Hashem is going to protect you. So what are you asking me for help? Doesn't sound right. So an interesting confession that we have here from Ezra in his Sefer. Okay. Let's see, what do we have here from Rashi? So that was Rashi, right? I see Rashi. And I have a long note here from the Malbim. Ezra stresses that this failure to request military support was only because the king had been told that Hashem is good to those who seek him and wrathful against those who oppose him. Who told the king that? Wasn't it Ezra? Who's
speaking? Who's speaking?
Ezra is the one who's speaking.
Ezra.
He said he was ashamed to ask the king for help because we had told the king blah blah blah. Okay. I was just wondering who exactly was it that told the king that. But he doesn't say that he himself. He just has the big we. Okay, any case, let's see further in this note from the Malbim. Had this not been told to the king, Ezra would have asked for the troops and would not have relied solely on Hashem's protection, even though he and his entourage were engaged in fulfilling a major mitzvah, that of going up to Eretz Yisrael. So he says that's in accordance with the precept Ein Somchim Al Nes. We do not rely on miracles. Indeed, the Talmud states in Psachim that even while engaged in performing a mitzvah, when the merit of the mitzvah provides a protective shield, like they're a shluchei mitzvah, we say shluchei mitzvah eino nizokin, someone who is on a mission and he's to perform a mitzvah, he has protection, he's not harmed. Not on the way there, not on the way back even. While engaged in performing a mitzvah, when the merit of the mitzvah provide a protective shield, it is improper to expose oneself to likely danger. Right, that's what the Gemara says, that you can't just rely on the mitzvah if the situation is a situation of danger.
Obviously, Hashem knows you're going on a mitzvah, but do you have to actually say to Hashem, I'm going to a mitzvah and I'm relying on your protection, or something like that?
to activate this protection?
Yes.
You have to ask Hashem for the protection, or does it work by itself? You want to know?
Yes.
Sounds like it works by itself.
I thought so.
It doesn't say that you have to ask Hashem for protection, but yeah, that would be a separate matter that would evoke perhaps even more protection. So, yeah, I remember we had a friend coming from America to the Agud conference here in Eretz Yisrael. This was a number of years ago, and before they left, I mean, because there was trouble here in Eretz Yisrael. It was it was like it's like the way that it's been for the last 25 years, and so they wanted to know if it was a advisable thing for them to come all together. So the question was put to Rav Aaron Leib Steinman here in Eretz Yisrael, and he said, yes, you should come because you're engaged in a mitzvah. You're going to be learning Torah. You're going to be going to speak to various rabbonim and et cetera, et cetera. So you have this protection. But he did say, but don't go to I don't remember the names of the places he said to not go to. Don't visit this place and don't visit that place. Because
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't think they were planning on going there anyway, because there's no nothing to do there anyway. Anyway, okay. So that's the idea. So he says, Malbim continues, had he been able to, Ezra would have requested military aid. He was unable to do so since the king had been told that the returning exiles enjoyed special divine protection. So Ezra was very, very concerned that it's very interesting, actually, that Ezra was very concerned that the king would sort of get a double message. On the one hand, someone or some delegation or whatever told him, oh, Hashem is protecting us. We have special protection from Hashem. And then Ezra comes along and says, oh, Your Highness, can we have some military support to protect us? I think Ezra was concerned about the inconsistency, that it would look to the king that these people are not they say one thing and they do something else. But we see over here that it's not really inconsistent whatsoever. This is what the Gemara says. There is a protection, but in a case where there's a sakana, it's not you can't simply rely on this Gemara. So, but Ezra wasn't interested in trying to explain to the king the intricacies of this Gemara in Psachim. He wouldn't want to do that, so what is he doing? He's actually he's going and he's relying on Hashem, and so he needs an extra dose of bitachon. In other words, because one might say, well, isn't he taking quite a risk over here? It's a dangerous thing. So So Ezra says, true. Ordinarily, I would have asked for protection, but okay. So we'll have other protection. Hashem will protect us because we have a fast, because we have bitochen. We'll that'll be our protection. It didn't deter Ezra from going, and he didn't think that. He obviously didn't think that he was putting all the people that he was taking in a matzav of sakana either. Otherwise, I don't think he would have taken them. Okay, it's interesting. Okay, so 23. Back to Lou.
I think we hit time.
Oh, we hit the time. Okay.
Saved by the bell.
Lou is saved by the bell. Okay.
Wow.
Very good.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
See you in a few
Shavua
minutes.
tov to everybody.
Okay.
So,
See you in a little while.
Ezrat Hashem.
okay.
Amen.
Ugh.